The selection of early leaders for the Christian community, those who would become known as popes, was a process born from necessity and guided by the Holy Spirit. In the very beginning, the apostles, those who knew Jesus directly, held a position of authority. As the church grew, so did the need for leadership in specific cities. These leaders, bishops, were chosen by the community they served, with an emphasis on their holiness and commitment to the faith. The Bishop of Rome, in time, came to be recognized as the successor to Peter. The rock upon which Christ built his church. This process, while informal in the early centuries, established the foundation for how the church would continue to select its leaders. Through prayer, discernment, and a communal desire to follow God's will. This period, though lacking the formalized structures of later centuries, set the stage for the evolution of papal elections. The role of the Bishop of Rome grew in significance as the Church navigated the challenges of the Roman Empire. Persecution and theological disputes tested the early Church, but through it all the need for a clear leader in Rome became increasingly evident. This growing importance would lead to more structured methods of selecting the Bishop of Rome, ensuring a smooth transition of leadership and preserving the unity of the Church. As Christianity grew from a persecuted sect to the official religion of the Roman Empire, the selection of the Bishop of Rome drew increasing attention. No longer a simple matter of local consensus, the process began to reflect the Church's growing influence and the political realities of the age. The acclamation, a public declaration of support for a candidate, remained a common practice, reflecting the desire for unity. However, this seemingly straightforward method proved susceptible to outside pressures. Powerful Roman families saw the papacy as a position of influence and sought to install their own candidates. The Church, seeking to maintain its independence, responded with reforms aimed at reducing external pressures and emphasizing spiritual qualifications over worldly power. The emergence of the cardinals, a group of senior clergy from Rome and surrounding areas, marked a significant shift in the selection process. Initially serving as advisors to the Pope, the cardinals gradually assumed the primary role in electing the new pontiff. This transition, though gradual, aimed to place the decision firmly in the hands of the church hierarchy, safeguarding it from undue influence by secular rulers. By the 13th century, the need for a more structured and secluded approach to papal elections became undeniable. The Great Western Schism, a period when rival claimants to the papacy plunged the Church into crisis, exposed the vulnerabilities of the existing system. The concept of a conclave, from the Latin conclave, meaning with a key, emerged as a solution. This involved isolating the cardinal electors within a designated area, cutting off their contact with the outside world. This seclusion aimed to prevent outside pressure and political maneuvering, allowing the cardinals to focus solely on discerning God's will through prayer and deliberation. The rules of the conclave, codified and refined over centuries, became the cornerstone of papal elections, ensuring both the sanctity and secrecy of the process. The conclave, with its emphasis on seclusion and prayerful discernment, remains a powerful symbol of the Church's commitment to seeking God's guidance in choosing its leader. This process, shrouded in tradition and steeped in symbolism, stands as a testament to the enduring importance the Church places on the spiritual dimension of papal succession. The history of papal elections is not without its share of turmoil. Periods of political instability, theological disputes, and even outright corruption at times cast a shadow over the process. The Avignon papacy of the 14th century, a period when the papacy resided in France rather than Rome, exemplified the influence secular power could exert on the Church. This era saw national interests and political machinations influencing the selection of popes, leading to divisions within the Church. The conclave, designed to safeguard against such interference, faced significant challenges in upholding its integrity during these tumultuous times. Yet, even in the face of external pressures and internal divisions, the Church consistently sought to reform and refine the election process. Each crisis, each controversy served as a catalyst for introspection and renewal, reinforcing the Church's commitment to seeking God's will in selecting its supreme pastor. Section 5. The shadow of influence, politics at the papal threshold. The interplay between faith and politics remained a recurring theme throughout the history of papal elections. As the Church navigated the complexities of a changing world, the selection of a new pope often held implications far beyond the spiritual realm. European powers, recognizing the papacy's influence in both religious and secular affairs, frequently sought to advance their own agendas within the conclave. Royal houses jockeyed for influence, seeking to install candidates sympathetic to their interests, while theological factions within the Church campaigned for popes who shared their interpretations of doctrine. These external pressures, while never entirely absent, served as a constant reminder of the delicate balance the Church had to strike between its spiritual mission and its role on the world stage. The conclave, despite its best efforts, could not always remain impervious to these pressures. Yet, even in the face of such challenges, the underlying principle of seeking God's guidance in choosing the successor to Peter remained paramount. Section 6. Modernizing the mandate reforms of the 20th century. The 20th century ushered in an era of significant change for the Catholic Church and the process of electing its leader. Following the longest pontificate in history, that of Pope Pius IX, who reigned for over 31 years, the Church embarked on a period of modernization and reform. The Second Vatican Council from 1962 to 1965, a landmark event in the Church's history, brought about a renewed emphasis on engaging with the modern world and fostering greater dialogue within the Church itself. These reforms extended to the papal election process, with Pope Paul VI introducing significant changes in 1975. The most notable of these was the restriction of conclave participants to cardinals under the age of 80, ensuring a more active and engaged electorate. This reform, while respecting tradition, acknowledged the need for the Church to adapt to the realities of a changing world. These reforms, while significant, did not alter the fundamental nature of the conclave. The sanctity of the process, the emphasis on prayer and discernment, and the ultimate goal of choosing the individual best suited to lead the Church remained the guiding principles of papal election. Section 7. Inside the Sistine Chapel, the drama of the vote. The modern conclave unfolds within the hallowed halls of the Vatican, specifically within the Sistine Chapel, a masterpiece of Renaissance art. The cardinals, having taken a solemn oath of secrecy, gather in this iconic space, their every move scrutinized by the eyes of the world watching and waiting. The atmosphere within the chapel is one of intense prayer and contemplation as the cardinals grapple with the weighty responsibility bestowed upon them. The voting process itself is steeped in tradition and symbolism. Each cardinal, approaching the altar one by one, solemnly declares, "I call as my witness Christ the Lord, who will be my judge, that my vote is given to the one whom before God I think should be elected." Their ballots, inscribed with the chosen candidate's name, are then carefully folded and placed in a chalice. The drama of the conclave unfolds over several days, with multiple rounds of voting taking place until a two-thirds majority is achieved. The world watches and waits, analyzing every puff of smoke that emerges from the chapel's chimney. Black smoke signifying an inconclusive vote, white smoke heralding the election of a new pope. Section 8. Announcing a new era. Habemus Papam, the announcement of a new pope, is a moment of global significance, capturing the attention of both the Catholic faithful and the world at large. Once the required two-thirds majority is reached, the senior cardinal deacon steps onto the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square and utters the Latin phrase, Annuntio vobis gaudium magnum, habemus papam. I announce to you a great joy, we have a pope. The crowd below, a sea of faces representing countless nationalities and languages, erupts in cheers and applause. The new pontiff, having chosen his papal name, then appears on the balcony offering his first blessing, Urbi et Orbi, to the city and to the world, a reminder of the universal nature of his ministry. This moment, filled with both ceremony and genuine emotion, marks the beginning of a new chapter in the history of the Catholic Church. The new pope, chosen through a centuries-old process steeped in tradition and prayer, embarks on a journey of leadership and service, guided by the Holy Spirit and entrusted with the care of the universal Church. Section 9. The Papacy Today, continuing a legacy of leadership. The papacy in the 21st century faces a unique set of challenges and opportunities. In a world grappling with issues such as poverty, conflict, and environmental degradation, the Pope's voice carries a moral weight few other world leaders can match. Pope Francis has made his papacy one of outreach and compassion, emphasizing the Church's commitment to social justice, interfaith dialogue, and care for the poor and marginalized. As the Catholic Church continues to evolve and adapt to the changing times, the process of electing its leader remains a testament to its enduring traditions and its unwavering belief in the guidance of the Holy Spirit. The conclave, with its blend of secrecy and solemnity, serves as a powerful reminder of the sacred trust placed upon the shoulders of the man chosen to lead the world's 1 billion Catholics. The papacy, a symbol of continuity and tradition stretching back through centuries, stands as a beacon of hope and inspiration for millions around the globe. As the Catholic Church continues its mission of proclaiming the gospel message of love and salvation, the world watches, eager to see how the next chapter in this ancient institution's story will unfold.